European workers are worried about some effects of automation and robotization. What are the key policies to minimize displacement and unemployment?
I think workers become worried about robotization in two circumstances. One, where they haven't been told about the change, they don't know about the change, they're worried that they're going to lose their job with the change, they haven't been given enough training, and they're operating in an environment where the employer treats them that if they make a mistake, then they'll be fired, they'll be punished, they'll be in deep trouble. And I think if you don't have an environment where workers have had the change discussed with them and where they've had an opportunity to talk about and understand the change and be part of creating that change, then I think workers get very afraid of robotization. The second way in which workers can be afraid is if they're not in control of the robot. For a long time now, robots have been bolted to the floor or in a cage. But in the future of work, robots are going to be working with us, we're going to be interacting with them, and in some circumstances, we're going to be wearing them. And I think the one important principle that has to be adhered to, regardless, is that the worker must always be able to turn it off. The worker must always be in control and know that they're in control. To know that at any time, that if the system fails, if they get nervous, if they're not happy with how things are working, that they can turn it off. And that's one of the main messages I'd have to manufacturers, is make sure and have a kill switch on all of the robots.
Investing in technology is very important to improve the quality of work and the international competitiveness of businesses. But it is also important that workers are empowered to take advantage of the potential that new technologies offer. What are the policies you advise to the European Union to enhance workers' reskilling and upskilling?
I think the European Union can do three things very quickly. The first is to make sure that there's enough credit available to workers so that they can pay for the training, but also that companies can invest in new systems and new ways of training for the workers too. I think that's really important, to make sure there's funding lines, grants available, that's driving change in the direction that we want for successful companies in Europe. I think the second thing the European Union can do is it can look at how we value companies in Europe. On the balance sheet, if you go off and you buy a new property, you can put that down as an asset on the balance sheet. But if you're investing in your workforce, that's more than often just treated as a cost in the financial reporting rules. So I think the way in which we recognise the inherent value in an educated, highly skilled, highly motivated partnership approach in the work within the companies needs to be properly developed. The third way in which the European Union can help is it can have better collaboration between education institutions, between learning institutions, and to help develop and motivate the provision of more online courses. You shouldn't have to live in a city and have enough money to take 3 years off work before you can reskill. You should be able to do it at home, you should be able to do it at work, you should be able to do it online.